Welcome, dear listeners, to Easy Stories & Co., the show where tales from the hidden corners of life and beyond are whispered into your ears. I'm your host, Herodotus, and in today's episode, we invite you to step into a world that exists just beyond the veil of the ordinary. In the bustling heart of London, there lies a shop unlike any other. It's a place that doesn't quite belong to the world of the living, yet isn't entirely part of the world of the departed either. This is the Unseen Shop, a sanctuary where lost souls find solace and the living come to unravel mysteries that time has forgotten. Our story today is a quiet tale, set within the walls of this enigmatic shop. It's a narrative woven with threads of love, loss, and the delicate interplay between the past and the present. As you listen, you might find yourself pondering the ephemeral nature of life, the enduring power of memories, and the unseen ties that connect us all. So, make yourself comfortable. Let the dim light of curiosity guide you, and prepare to embark on a journey through a hidden London, where the whispers of those long gone still echo in the shadows. Hear the story of the unseen shop and its keeper, a guardian of stories untold and souls unrested.
In the heart of London, tucked away in an alley that few notice, stands a shop that defies the ordinary. Its existence is a secret to most, a haven to others. I am its keeper, the custodian of a threshold that bridges the world of the living and the realm of the departed. My name is inconsequential in this narrative. What matters is my peculiar occupation and the role I play in the lives or afterlives of my customers. The shop, a relic of a bygone era, is a curious sight amidst the modern hustle of the city. Its facade, draped in ivy, has an ancient, weather-beaten sign swinging silently in the breeze, the name long faded. The windows are always fogged, as if veiling the mysteries within from prying eyes. Stepping inside is like entering a different world, one that exists in the quiet margins of our reality. The interior is an eclectic mix of the old and the enigmatic. The air is perpetually cool and carries a faint scent of lavender mingled with the musk of old books. Shelves creak under the weight of strange artifacts, a pocket watch that ticks backwards, a mirror that reflects not your image, but a cloudy sky, and other oddities that defy explanation. I remember my first day in the shop. The previous keeper, a wizened figure with eyes that spoke of centuries, handed over the keys with a knowing nod. "You have the sight," he had murmured. Back then, I didn't comprehend the full meaning of those words. Now, years later, I understand. I see them, the wandering souls, those who have left life but are not yet ready to depart entirely from this world. My role is that of an intermediary. The departed come to me with requests, small but significant ties to the world they've left behind. Some seek to send messages to loved ones. Others wish to revisit a favourite memory, and a few simply yearn for a moment of normalcy, a brief respite in their eternal wandering. I facilitate these wishes as best I can, delivering letters, returning keepsakes, or simply lending an ear to their stories. On a typical day, the shop is quiet, save for the occasional tinkle of the bell above the door as a spectral visitor enters. My customers are a varied lot. Some are newly departed, still wearing expressions of disbelief. Others have been wandering for so long that they've become part of the city's unseen fabric. The shop, with its dimly lit corners and shelves heavy with the weight of time, has always been a place of quiet conversations and unspoken understandings. As I stand behind the counter, cataloguing a newly arrived collection of Victorian-era postcards, the bell chimes. I look up to see a new visitor, her form barely more substantial than a wisp of smoke. Her eyes, a deep shade of blue, are filled with a mix of hope and sorrow. She's young, probably not more than 20 at the time of her passing. Her clothes, a faded dress and a worn shawl, suggest she's from a time not too recent.
"Good day,"
she whispers, her voice a mere echo of what it must have once been.
"I need your help."
I nod, gesturing towards the chair opposite me. "Please, have a seat. Tell me your story." She moves gracefully, every motion a dance between worlds. Settling into the chair, she seems to gather her thoughts, her gaze fixed on a point somewhere beyond the walls of the shop.
I don't quite know where to begin."
She starts, her voice trembling like a leaf in the wind.
"It's all a bit muddled. One moment I was there alive and then—"
"It can be disorienting," I interject softly, offering a small smile of understanding. "Take your time. Start with what you remember." She nods, taking a deep, unnecessary breath.
"My name is Eliza. I remember walking through the streets, the sounds of carriages, the hustle of people. I was going to meet someone important to me. But then there was an accident. I never made it."
The sorrow in her voice is palpable. I've heard many such stories, each unique, yet united by the theme of sudden departure, of plans left unfinished, of goodbyes unspoken. "And now you find yourself here," I say gently. "What is it that you seek?"
I had a locket.
Eliza says, her voice gaining strength.
A locket I was meant to give to him, my fiancé. It was my mother's, and I wanted him to have it, to remember me by."
"And you wish for me to find this locket and deliver it to him?" I ask, already considering the logistics of such a task. It's not the first time I've been asked to bridge the gap between the living and the departed. She nods, a tear shimmering in her ethereal eye.
"Yes, but it's more than that. I need to know if he's moved on, if he's happy."
I understand her need, the yearning for closure, for assurance that those they left behind have found peace. "I will do my best, Eliza. Tell me more about this locket, and about him. The more I know, the better I can help." As she speaks, her words painting a picture of love and loss, I listen attentively. Each detail she provides is a piece of the puzzle, a step towards fulfilling her last wish. Her story unfolds slowly, a tapestry of memories and emotions, and I find myself drawn into the narrative of her life, a spectator to a love that transcends the boundaries of life and death. In this quiet corner of London, where the living seldom tread, the shop becomes a sanctuary for stories like Eliza's. It's a place where the departed find a voice, where their tales are heard, and their final wishes granted. As Eliza's tale unfolds, the shop seems to shrink around us, becoming a cocoon where only her words exist. She tells me of her fiancé, Jonathan, a young man with a kind heart and a poet's soul. They had met in a spring that seemed to favour young love, under the blossoming trees of a London park. Theirs was a love swift and all-consuming, like a fire that burns bright and fierce.
"The locket,"
she continues, her voice a mere wisp,
"was my mother's, the only thing I had left of her. It's silver, with a small ruby in the centre. Inside, there's a miniature portrait of my mother and a lock of her hair. I wanted Jonathan to have it, to know that he was not just my choice but hers as well."
I listen, taking mental notes. Such items are not just physical objects but symbols, imbued with memories and emotions. Finding it will be a challenge, but not an insurmountable one. "And Jonathan," I ask, "do you know what became of him after your passing?" Eliza shakes her head, a look of anguish crossing her spectral features.
"No, I don't. That's part of why I'm here. I need to know if he's all right, if life has been kind to him."
The shop, with its myriad of lost and forgotten things, feels more poignant than ever. Here, in this space between worlds, Eliza's love and concern for Jonathan are as tangible as the items that line the shelves. "I understand," I say. "I will do everything I can to find the locket and to learn about Jonathan's life after you. It may take some time, but I promise to tell you everything I discover." Eliza's eyes glisten with unshed tears.
Thank you. That means more than you can imagine.
Our conversation turns to lighter memories, moments she shared with Jonathan. She recounts their walks along the Thames, the poetry he used to recite to her, the dreams they shared for a future that was not to be. Each word is a bittersweet reminder of a love that endures beyond death. As the hours pass, the shadows in the shop lengthen, and the world outside begins to quieten. Eliza's form starts to fade, a sign that her time in the shop is coming to an end for now.
Will I see you again?
She asks, her voice barely audible. "Yes, you will," I assure her. "I will call for you once I have news about Jonathan and the locket. Until then, be at peace." With a final, grateful look, Eliza dissipates, her presence lingering in the air like the last notes of a song. I'm left alone in the shop, surrounded by silent witnesses to countless stories. I close my eyes for a moment, letting the weight of Eliza's story settle in my mind. Then, with renewed determination, I begin to plan my next steps. There are records to search, places to visit, and people to talk to. The task ahead is daunting, but I am resolute. I will find the locket and learn of Jonathan's fate for Eliza's sake. The following morning, the shop feels different, as if Eliza's story has seeped into its very walls. I start the day with a clear objective: to uncover the fate of Jonathan and to locate Eliza's locket. My first task is to delve into historical records, a meticulous and often tedious process, but necessary in my line of work. Hours pass as I scour through old newspapers, census records, and city archives. London, with its rich and tumultuous history, has no shortage of stories like Eliza's. Tragedies, love stories, tales of loss and redemption, they are all etched into the city's memory. Finally, I come across a lead. An obituary from the late 1800s, detailing the life of a Jonathan Edwards, a poet and a teacher, whose heart, it was said, never recovered from the loss of his beloved fiancée. With a name and a rough timeline, I turn my attention to finding the locket. The task is akin to searching for a needle in a haystack, but I have a few tricks up my sleeve, honed from years of tracking down lost items for my spectral clients. I visit antique shops, speak with collectors, and even consult a network of individuals who, like me, possess the sight and aid those who exist between worlds. Days turn into weeks, and the search for the locket proves more challenging than I anticipated. Yet, I refuse to give up. Eliza's story, her love for Jonathan, deserves closure. One rainy afternoon, as I'm poring over a lead from an antique dealer in the East End, the bell above the shop door chimes. I look up, expecting another lost soul seeking assistance, but instead, I find myself staring at a familiar face. "Eliza," I greet her, surprised. "You're early. I haven't found the locket yet, but I'm getting closer." She smiles faintly, her form more solid than the last time.
I know and I'm grateful, but I came for a different reason today.
"Oh," I prompt, curious.
I've been thinking
She begins, her voice steadier than before.
about Jonathan, about what you might find, and I realise that what I truly seek is not just closure for myself, but for him too. If he's still burdened by my memory, by our lost future, I wish to free him from it.
Her words resonate with a depth of selflessness that is rare, even among the departed. It's a reminder of the capacity for growth and change that exists even beyond life. I understand, I reply. Finding the locket is still important, but perhaps there's more we can do for Jonathan's memory. Eliza nods, and we spend the next hours discussing possibilities, weaving a plan that honours both her wishes and Jonathan's memory. Our conversation is a blend of the practical and the philosophical, touching upon themes of love, loss, and letting go. As the day wanes and Eliza's form begins to fade, a sense of purpose fills the shop. Our plan is set, a path laid out to bring peace to two souls bound by love and separated by fate.
Thank you,
Eliza whispers as she disappears, her gratitude hanging in the air like a promise. I'm left alone, surrounded by the echoes of our conversation. There's work to be done, both in the physical world and beyond. Eliza's story is not yet complete, but we're on the path to writing its final chapter. In the days that follow, my efforts to find the locket intensify. Eliza's visit has instilled a new sense of urgency in me. The shop becomes a base of operations, a place where the tangible and intangible intersect. I follow leads, some of which take me to the far reaches of London, to dusty attics and forgotten storerooms. Simultaneously, I begin to weave the narrative that will give Jonathan the peace he deserves. It's a delicate process, crafting a story that resonates with truth, yet allows a departed soul to rest. I enlist the help of a local historian, a woman well versed in the nuances of London's past, and together we piece together the life that Jonathan led after Eliza's passing. Our discoveries paint a picture of a man who, though he never forgot his first love, found ways to channel his grief into his work and his community. He became a respected teacher, a mentor to many, and his poetry, though tinged with melancholy, spoke of hope and resilience. With this information, I plan a small ceremony, a symbolic gesture to honour both Eliza and Jonathan. It's set to take place in the shop, a fitting location for such an event, given its role as a bridge between worlds. On the evening of the ceremony, the shop is transformed. Candles flicker on the shelves, casting a warm glow on the walls. A small table holds two items, a framed portrait of Jonathan and a blank book, its pages waiting to be filled with Eliza's words. As the clock strikes the appointed hour, Eliza appears. She's more radiant tonight, her form clear and steady. She gazes at the portrait of Jonathan, a tender smile touching her lips.
You've done so much,
she says, her voice filled with emotion.
Thank you.
I nod, guiding her towards the table. This book is for you, Eliza, a place to write your final message to Jonathan, whatever you wish him to know. She picks up the pen, a ghostly instrument in her translucent hand, and begins to write. The words flow from her, a stream of love, gratitude, and release. She writes of their time together, of the dreams they shared, and of her wish for him to find peace and happiness. When she finishes, the book is closed, a tangible testament to a love that transcended time and death. We place it alongside Jonathan's portrait, a symbolic union of their two stories. Now, I say, let's complete the ceremony. Together, we recite a few words, an acknowledgement of their journey and a blessing for their separate paths. The air in the shop grows heavy, charged with emotion and the power of our ritual. As the ceremony concludes, Eliza turns to me, her eyes shining with gratitude and a newfound peace.
I am ready now,
She says,
ready to let go and move on.
Her form begins to shimmer, a sign that her time in this in-between place is coming to an end. With a final, radiant smile, she fades away, leaving behind a sense of completion and serenity. The shop returns to its usual quiet, the candles now mere flickers in the dark. I sit for a long time, reflecting on the journey Eliza and I undertook together. In helping her find peace, I've come to understand more deeply the role I play in this world as a guardian of memories and a facilitator of closure. In the quiet aftermath of the ceremony, the shop feels different, as if it has absorbed a part of Eliza's story, embedding it into its very essence. The candles have burnt down to stubs, casting long, flickering shadows across the room. The framed portrait of Jonathan and the book containing Eliza's final words sit on the table, symbols of a journey concluded and a love that, while not eternal, had its own time and place in the world. As I tidy up the shop, putting everything back in its place, my mind wanders over the events of the past weeks. I think of Eliza, her story, and the peace she finally found. Even though I was unable to find the locket, there's a sense of satisfaction, knowing that I played a part in her journey, with a lingering melancholy that is. Each story I help complete leaves its mark on me, a reminder of the transient nature of life and the enduring power of memories. The next morning, I open the shop as usual. The sunlight filters through the fogged windows, casting a gentle glow on the shelves filled with curiosities. The atmosphere is calm, almost contemplative. I take a moment to appreciate the silence, the peace that comes after the resolution of a profound experience. As the day progresses, I find myself reflecting on the role of the shop, this unique place that exists at the crossroads of the living and the departed. It's more than just a business. It's a sanctuary, a place of reconciliation and healing. I feel a renewed sense of purpose, a recommitment to the responsibilities that come with my unique ability to see and interact with those who have passed on. Later, a new visitor arrives, another soul in need of assistance. As I listen to their story, I realize that Eliza's journey has taught me valuable lessons about empathy, patience, and the importance of closure. Each story is a world unto itself, deserving of attention and respect. As the day turns to evening and the shop grows quiet once more, I take a moment to record the day's events in my own journal. It's a habit I've developed, a way to keep track of the many lives and stories that pass through these doors. I write about Eliza, about the ceremony, and about the impact her story has had on me. Closing the journal, I realize that while one chapter has ended, another is always beginning. The shop, with its endless parade of visitors and their stories, is a testament to the ongoing narrative of life and death, love and loss, and the connections that bind us all. As I lock up for the night, I glance back at the shop. It stands there, a silent guardian of stories, a bridge between worlds. In this ever-changing city of London, it remains a constant, a place where the unseen are seen and the unheard are heard. I walk away, knowing that tomorrow will bring new stories, new journeys, and I, the keeper of the unseen shop, will be there, ready to lend my assistance, to bear witness, and to guide those who need it towards their own resolution.